Hey, Supernova here. I'm rather excited about this video because it is a synthesis of the two topics that I talk about on my channel. This is primarily about atheism, but it's also math related and talks about infinite numbers, which is something I'm a huge fan of, if you've seen my videos on math. Uh, and it's about the idea of something coming from nothing. And yes, I believe that something came from nothing. And when I get into debates with Christians about this, they always bring up an argument that I don't agree with. And this is what it looks like right here. I've seen this so many times. They say, what, you believe 0 plus 0 equals 1? Nothing plus nothing equals something? And no, of course I don't. That's silly. That's why I call it the straw man. Um, I agree with their math there. You can't add nothing and nothing and get something. It just doesn't work. Um, and I don't think they're deliberately attacking a straw man. I just don't think the Christians understand what scientists believe, or even atheists. And so I'm going to, if you are a Christian, I'm going to enlighten you, and maybe even if you're an atheist, because I don't think atheists quite understand this concept either. So my analogous mathematical equation to what scientists believe about the start of the universe would be 1 plus negative 1 equals 0, or the opposite, 0 equals 1 plus negative 1. From nothing, you can get something. You can get an infinite number of somethings. You could also get 2 and negative 2, 3 and negative 3, and so on. You could get an infinite number of somethings from nothing, just so long as they are both polar opposites. And this is what scientists believe. If you've ever heard the term antimatter, that's what it is. It's uh, identical to matter with an opposite charge. It's what came from the Big Bang when matter was created. There was an equal amount of antimatter. And I actually thought this was completely theoretical and just some hypothesis, but Wikipedia enlightened me on the fact that even though anti-atoms are very rare, anti-particles are not. The particle accelerators generally churn these things out as a byproduct. So we've seen antimatter. It's not theoretical. It's factual. And just like 1 and negative 1, they are both somethings until you allow them to touch each other, and then they both cancel each other out in an act called annihilation, and then you have nothing again. So that's what scientists believe, and scientists have thought about this. They didn't just think, oh, we've got to take creator out of the universe and let's come up with some competing theory. No, this is trying to make sense of what we do know, that we have something here and apparently it came from nothing, and we tried to figure out how, and it turned out that the evidence backed it up. We found antimatter. It's a fact. Deal with it. um, so you can get something from nothing. You can get an infinite number of somethings from nothing. That's why they believe that the singularity was infinitely dense, because it contained absolutely everything. There's no limit of things that you can get from nothing, just so long as you get the equal but opposite version. Now, Christians, even though they attack this idea, don't have a very good defense for the existence of God, which is something that came from nothing. They say he always was, basically trying to dodge the argument and say, well, we don't have to prove where he came from because he always was. There's no evidence for God always being, except the fact that if he came from something, then you would have this big logical problem. And sort of dodge this. This is the path they've chosen. Um, there's no reason to accept it or believe it. Now, of course, they could use this same argument that I'm using. I'm not a big double standard guy. If you wanted to argue that God could have been created from nothing, along with an anti-God, an equal but opposite God, fine. I believe that could happen. I don't think that proves that God exists, obviously, because we know the universe exists. We're trying to find out its origin with the knowledge that it already exists. If you're determined to believe that God exists, well, you could use this as an explanation for how he did. But I don't think Christians will accept that because they believe in just the one God. But anyway, I thought I'd enlighten you with that. And if you have any comments or questions, go ahead and post them below. Peace.